guys, it's Jahna and Bridget.
Hi.
We're down in sunny Sydenham. It sounds like it might be the last day of sunny Sydenham before the snow finally
Into
arrives.
the mountains. We're so excited. We can't wait.
Yeah, but so we've got some gear to talk about, but first we've got the beer. So we have a Behemoth something hoppy IPA. Something tells me it's hoppy.
Yeah, it's quite hoppy and quite fruity as well.
Yeah, you were a little bit surprised about that.
Yeah, it gave me a bit of a shock at the end, but in a positive way.
Yeah, it's nice to drink after a day of working really hard, Dan?
I've had, yes, one. I've sampled one. Two.
So we've got some ropes to talk about. So Bridget will kick it off with the Kraken ropes.
Sweet. So these are all Edelrid ropes. One of the things that I really like about Edelrid is they use this thing called 3D coiling, which means that effectively they put a twist in it while they're coiling it, so you don't have to muck around pulling your whole rope out the full 60 metres, so it doesn't get tangled when you use it for the first time.
Don't look like a tit at the crag.
Yeah, you can just pull the whole thing out and use it, and it's super easy. But we'll start with the Python. It's a 10mm rope, it's super thick. I really like 10mm ropes because they've got so much friction when you're beeline with them, which makes them super safe, but they can be a bit heavy when you're right up the top.
But they're also sturdy because the thickness adds to the longevity of the rope. So if you're looking for a rope to go and use and abuse, then that's what you want.
Yeah, I think that takes one extra fold in the 9.8mm ropes, which I'll talk about next. So the 9.8mm ropes are the boa and the parrot. The boa also comes in a 70-metre one, which is useful if you're going to some intriguing places where you need that extra 10 metres to be able to get up and down safely.
Like the Darrens. I just got a guidebook for the Darrens actually.
Yeah.
When my knee's
Awesome.
better, we can go check it out together.
Wait, we'll have to get a 70-metre rope for that.
In time off work.
Yeah.
That's the magic trick.
Yeah, you should come in and tell Dan that.
Yeah.
When you pop in.
And Rocky.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweet. But you've got the boa, which comes in a 70 and a 60, and the parrot. Now the parrot's super funky. This is a really eco-friendly rope. So that's made out of rope fragments.
The leftover yarn.
Yeah, the leftover yarn.
So in the process of making all of these ropes, Edelrid in the manufacturing factory basically has leftover thread to use, and that goes into making the parrot, which is their eco rope. It's also 9.8 mils, perfect for cragging still.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're a little more eco-friendly, also blue sign. So Edelrid uses blue sign practices, so they are committed to putting like less chemicals in the production process and things like that. So if you want to check anything like that out, it's the blue sign label basically.
Means it's nice and green and sustainable, doesn't it? There we go.
All that information's on our website as well.
As green as your jump.
Oh. Now, I'm going to pass over to Jahna to have a chat about the more mountainy type ropes.
Yeah. So these are the ropes that you can probably geek out over. So I'll start, so these are all pro lines, which means they're all dry treated, so perfect for if you're going to be up in the mountains, there's going to be snow around, or likely to, I don't encourage it, but if there's going to be rope and mud or anything like that, it helps keep the core of your rope safe. So all of these have the dry treatment. But the first one is the Heron, so this is also 60 metres, 9.8 mils, sturdy rope. Really good if you're looking for a single rope for alpine activities. Will be great when you're dragging it through the snow. Also, the 60 metre length, you get to have a good pitch before you've got to set up another snow anchor or rappel and
Swing another rock.
Yeah. And then we have a little more specific. We've got the Apis ropes, and I've put them. These are both the exact same rope, but I've put them together because these are a half, they're rated as both a double and a twin rope, which basically means they need to be used together, but through that you get a 60 metre pitch instead of having to double your rope over. So you get to, if you're going to use the example of the weather coming in and you might be a little bit stuck, been in a situation like that before on the Remarkables. Oops. Check out the route before you go up there. But basically, you want these ropes to be different colours. So you rappel down, you've got a giant rappel, and then you go, right, I'm going to pull on the blue rope, and then you get the rope back. Yeah, so this is also a much lighter weight. I think it's about 30% of the weight. 30% less of the weight. So about 70% of the weight of a rope like this. Also, another rope we actually have sold that would sit here is a slightly thinner rope than this, but it's still a single rope, so it's still good for your one rope does all in the mountains trick, and it's called the Eagle, and I'm going to pester Rocky about getting that back in stock. But if you are wanting to talk about any climbing gear, hopefully with snow we'll be able to get out and do some mountaineering. And if you want to talk to us about that, come on in and see us. There's also a blog post advising you about all the different climbing ropes there are and which one would be best for you.
And if there's no snow, you can always go rock climbing with this sort of thing as well.
Cool. Thanks. Have a good day, guys.
See you later.